Alright, we're going to do a short rule overview of the game BioSyndrome. It is a tabletop 28mm survival horror wargame. These are the miniatures we'll be centering on for the rule demo today, which is going to cover ranged combat and melee combat. It's not going to go too in-depth, just a brief overview. If you want to see more, please feel free to download the rulebook. It's free. Things you need to play, tape measure, a few 1d8 sided dice, and something used for counters. I like to use the blue 1d6 small dice I have in the corner there. You need miniatures, obviously, and a gaming table. In this instance, I have a gaming table set up with a whole bunch of miniatures. All this terrain was ordered through Greenleaf Terrain. They do custom terrain sets, and I wanted a military base style. All these miniatures I ordered through Studio Miniatures for the zombies and Black Scorpion miniatures for the Coalition forces, and I had them painted by Blue Table Painting. They did an outstanding job. Everything looks great. Couldn't ask for anything better. Here's a few printouts from the PDF rulebook. Again, it's free. It's a master weapon chart with all the stats, the rate of fires, the range, any modifiers for the weapons. Here's the zombie horde army list. Has the units, the points per unit, the equipment, the stat lines, the upgrades, and the army traits. Army traits are only for army leaders, which we'll go into in a different video. Here's the coalition forces printout from the rulebook. Again, same thing. Upgrades, army traits, equipment, points, stat lines. They also have basing guidelines too as well. This is a 28mm war game, but you could probably use for 15mm. I don't see why not. The rules are pretty basic. It's not too complicated or in depth. So, all right, let's get started. I got 2 fire team members. I just want a small disclaimer: any roll of an 8 on a 1d8 in ranged combat is considered a headshot. Here's 3d8. I just put 8 on there. I'm gonna roll soon, but I'm not gonna get an 8, so I'm gonna make a separate video for that. It's a special circumstance. We can go more in depth at a later time. Range combat here, rolling. Fire team members need a 3+ to hit. In this instance, I got 2 hits and 1. I think that's a 7. I can't tell if that's a 7 or a 1. I'll go into what a 1 on in range combat is later. So 8 is a headshot, a 1 is a jammed weapon, or a weapon out of ammo. If you get 2 1s consecutively, either in the same shooting phase, or 1 in one shooting phase and 1 in the next turn, that weapon is considered to be out of ammo. Here, the second fire team member in the upper left-hand corner is shooting at the zombie on the left, and he rolls 3 dice. His M16 has a rate of fire of 3, so he shoots 3 shots per game turn. 2 is a miss. The fire team member needs a 3+. The 1 is the jammed weapon, so his M16 jammed, and that is signified by the blue D6. He had 1 hit, so the zombie just rolled his armor save and rolled a 2 and failed it. He needs a 7+, so he takes 1 health point of damage. The zombie has 2 health points total, so he's down to 1 health point left. Something about game phases. Again, this is going to be a different video. There's 3 game phases. The fire team member used his action in this game phase to remove his jammed weapon. He did remedial action and corrected the malfunction of his weapon. Here we got the fire team members moving back, give them a little distance in between them and the zombies. Again, three game phases. There's movement, combat, and actions. You can use your game phases for each unit in any order you wish. Some typical actions are unjamming your weapons, opening doors, going into the prone position, using a med pack. A zombie could use an action to eat a dead model to regain health points. There's an example of that later on, which is actually a special ability called Brains. Let's see here. Okay, the zombies are moving up to engage in hand-to-hand combat. One thing to note, a model can leave hand-to-hand combat during its movement phase of your game turn, but you can only move half your total movement distance away. Fire team members and regular zombies all have movement of 6. So if you're engaged in hand-to-hand combat and you're trying to run away, you can only move half your movement distance, which in this case would be 3 inches. So 2 of those zombies there didn't make it in hand-to-hand combat. They couldn't make it in, but it looks like the other 3 did. One of those zombies is important to note, though. One on the left, upper left there, next to the guy with the blue die, is a armored dead, which is an undead coalition forces soldier who has an IBA and a 5+ save, same as the coalition soldiers. And he also has 3 attacks and zombie claws, which gives him a 6+ armor penetration. We'll go into more on that later. Here we have looks like one of the zombies is going to start clawing at the coalition force member. I think it's the one on the right. Yeah. There is no headshots in melee combat. And there's also no jammed weapons, obviously. So he rolled an 8 and a 6. They're both hits. Zombies hit on a 4+ in hand-to-hand combat. So the soldier needs to roll 2 different armor saves. He's saving on a 5+, and it looks like he saved both. I already know I need to get new dice. My dice are terrible. You can't see them. Looks like the armored dead is attacking. He gets 3 attacks, all 3 hits. So I have to make 3 different saves. Looks like I made 2 and I failed 1. So he takes one point of damage. So he has 3 health points total, so now he's down to 2. And I believe I roll for... Let's see, what do I do here? That's the armor penetration from the armored dead zombie claws, and he failed both. So he could have got 2 more wounds if he would have rolled a 6+ on each of those. Here we have the zombie that's already wounded attacking, 2 more attacks. He hit at least once. Yeah, he hit once. Okay. And it looks like I made the save. Again, I have horrible dice for this. I gotta purchase new dice. The coalition forces are quite costly. They cost 22 points apiece. They're very formidable. They have the best equipment, best stat lines. But once they get cornered, they quickly become overrun just by the sheer amount of attacks. You have 3 zombies on you, 2 attacks apiece. That's 6 attacks around. More than likely, you're going to fail a couple of those saves and probably end up dying. Here, the coalition force member moved his 3 inches back. Remember, half movement. It looks like he rolled a 1, so he has a jammed weapon. And I think he had two hits on zombie. 2 hits, and 1 is a 4. So the zombie failed 1 armor save right away. And it looks like he has a 7, so he made the 2nd armor save. So the zombie made one of the 2 armor saves. So this would be armor penetration. He rolled a 4. So the fire team member needs a 6+ with his M16. So the zombie only takes 1 health point of damage and is down to 1 health point. Coalition forces are also equipped with combat knives, which give their melee attacks a 6+ armor penetration as well. Here the coalition force is going to go into melee combat. I think he made 1, and the armored dead has a 5+ save, so he saved it. I think I might have forgot to use the combat knife armor penetration here. I can't remember. Yeah, I forgot. And he's moving 3 inches away due to his already being in hand-to-hand combat. So as you can see, the coalition forces, they're great at long range, but once they get bogged down and outnumbered, they can't really escape. So you'll always want to make sure you have an escape plan. I made a Tactica video recently as well on the coalition fire team members. That's Very important. Very key. If you saw the first video battle report, you'd know what I'm talking about. Which is also online. It's actually on the Google community page, which is where you can download the free PDF rule set, which is a work in progress. If you have any comments or feedback or any thoughts about anything, please post it below. I'm very open to what everybody has to say about the game, and I'm always looking for ways to improve it. Here we have all the zombies moving into position. They're all well within 6 inches, so I'm just moving them up. No need to waste time here. I just gotta remember to move the token, whatever type of tokens you have with you, so you can keep track of everything that's going on. It's important to note, if you forget to unjam your weapon, it's your own fault. That soldier with the jammed weapon, I could have unjammed it last round, and I totally forgot. So it's a tip for you Coalition Force players out there. Well, actually, any army list, I guess. Alright, so let's finish up this melee combat. I believe we're going into the zombie rounds here. As you can see, the Coalition forces are outnumbered. So it looks like 2 hits on the first one from the first zombie. So I gotta make 2 5+ saves, and I fail both. So he automatically takes 2 damage, or 2 health points of damage. So he starts out with 3, now he's down to 1. So he has a jammed weapon and 1 health point left. And the zombie that's behind him is going to engage in a hand-to-hand combat, and he gets 1 hit out of the 2. Zombies need to hit on 4+. Zombie walkers, that is. And he failed the 3rd armor save, so he just died. Now, I put the model back here because this is important. Zombies have the special ability brains. I mentioned it earlier. The zombie action can eat any model that's dead in base-to-base contact with it to regenerate up to 1 health point. So here, that zombie in the top right just ate that Coalition soldier's brains and regenerated a health point. Now, both these models haven't moved yet, because movement is, there's 3 game phases for each model. Neither of them have moved, so they can move into position. Around the other Coalition forces. Here we have another walker trying to eat that Coalition, misses both times, 3s. He's hitting on a 4+. Other zombie walker, he's attacking, he gets 1 hit. Remember, 8 close combat doesn't really mean anything else. 8 in range combat, he just failed to save, took another damage. 8 range combat, headshot. Which we'll go into in a different video. I'll go more in depth into headshots. And the armored dead is attacking. He got 2 hits. So I need to make 2 armor saves for the Coalition soldier. And he failed 1, and I think he just died. Although I think he only had 1 health point. Yeah, he only had 1 health point left. I'm not sure what I'm rolling for here. That must be the armor penetration for the 2nd hit, but it doesn't matter anyway. He already took a damage. Again, there's a wounded zombie there, so he can use an action to eat the dead soldier there. Alright, so this is just a brief overview of ranged and close combat in the game BioSyndrome, 28mm survival horror tabletop wargame. Post your comments and feedback below. Please like and subscribe if you want to see more videos. Other than that, I hope you enjoyed the video, and happy wargaming.